Hi, this is Noodles, also known as Class Noodles Awakenings. I hope you're having a great day. The title of my video today is Healing from Trauma is Harder Than People Think. So today I'm going to talk about how trauma isn't as easy, like an on and off switch, and isn't um, as pleasant to heal from as people think. And I have a lot of experience with this, so I think I have the right to talk about it. So I'm gonna start with there's a conception that people can just snap out of their depression or their trauma or whatever mental illness it is. But I'm talking specifically about trauma, especially post-traumatic stress disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or just trauma in general. Uh, so it's not as easy to heal from as people think, and the misconception is, why can't depressed people or traumatized people just snap out of it? Why can't they just flip on a switch and just stop being sad and or depressed? You hear it from a lot from people who don't understand mental illness or trauma, or people who don't want to understand trauma or mental illness. In my opinion, is part of the reason why, whether unconsciously or consciously, is that there's a unconscious thought or question is, if a normal person can go insane and have trauma, become severely mentally ill or have post-traumatic stress disorder or complex complex post-traumatic stress disorder, does that mean I, the skeptic, can become mentally ill or traumatized too? There's a bit of a fear of loss of security and loss of safety from people who think like that. Um, a mentally ill person can't just snap their fingers or press an on and off switch and just suddenly think happy or positive thoughts. And sometimes even mentally ill people or severely traumatized people can think positive thoughts. It's just that they feel, even though they're thinking positive thoughts, they can feel negative or feel depressed too, and feel depressed and feel sad most of the time. I heard it from Andrew Tate, and he said it's been a long time. He said something, I'm paraphrasing, something that he doesn't believe in depression or something, or or being depressed or something like that. Like that, I don't hate him. It's just that I don't agree with him on that because I've been in the shoes of a severely depressed person, so it's easy for me to not buy into what he's selling. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is uh, how severely traumatized people can heal from mental illness. One way is I just thought positive thoughts for years or decades. Kind of like like those positive thinking people or those manifesting people. They just, it's just like, hey, you just think you're gonna be okay. You're great. You have very nice clothes. Uh, you're gonna get great grades on the test, or even more powerful. If you're into manifesting, the thought that you already have great grades on the test. Um, People who are autistic or have obsessive compulsive disorder may tap or stim. Um, I used to have really bad anxiety, and I would just tap and stim and think positive thoughts. Each tap and each stim was a positive thought and a positive stream. So I did that for decades, and it worked. It took a lot of time and energy and years, though. So So yes, you can improve your life if you have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, or just any trauma in general. So it's not like what doubters and skeptics of mental illness or trauma think, where you can just snap a finger or wave a magic wand, or there's an on and off switch where you can just click it and push it, and then suddenly you're suddenly happy. Another thing I'm going to talk about is, this isn't for people who unfortunately may have to take medication for the rest of their life for mental illnesses that are unfortunately until we find a cure, such as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or anything like that. It isn't for people with those type of mental illnesses. I'm just talking about people with trauma that can pass by and obviously will pass by if they keep at it and keep healing. So what do I think about people who are skeptics or doubters of mental illnesses or trauma? I sometimes think they're funny because I have a dark sense of humor, so I can laugh it off. I also have pretty sharp and edgy type of humor. That's kind of not popular anymore, so I can take it. I also think a lot of it is cope. Like another third of the skeptics are coping. It's like I said before in this video, it's from a sense of lack of security and lack of feeling of safety. And finally, I think the last third of them are just, they don't know how to understand it, so they're trying to understand mental illness and trauma with logic. And because mental illness and emotions and trauma are things you feel, you can't just, logic your way out of it. You can't analyze it. You can't, carry the two and multiply the numbers like in a math equation, and that scares some people. It scares some people, and also you can't understand something like mental illness or trauma just by logic alone. Maybe not even mostly. That's it for today. My name is Class Noodles Awakenings, also known as Noodles. I hope you have a great day.